All right, guys. I'll give everyone a minute here to go ahead and jump on. Let me know in the chat if you guys are here, if you can see my screen, if you guys can hear me. Make sure audio and video is good. So I've got a couple people in here. All right, guys, before we dive into it, in the chat, just introduce yourself. Let me know that you guys are in here. Let me know that you guys can hear me all right, that you guys can see the screen. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. All right, James Paul, audio, video good. All right. All right, guys. So I'll go ahead and start diving into this. I just wanted to, again, do a live stream once a week for you guys. So that way you guys have an opportunity to ask me questions, be able to, I guess, get a little bit more interaction, but kind of set aside really a half hour or so. So that way, you guys can interact, be able to pick my brain a little bit, get my thoughts of why I look at something a specific way. Again, I'm primarily an Elliott wave trader. I do use a couple other indicators and strategies to help complement some of my technical analysis. But again, this is these live streams are a little geared a little bit more for you guys, my viewers, versus me diving in and doing some specific technical analysis. I'll start off by going through and doing a quick update from yesterday's video. And this is really kind of how we left it off right here in regards to looking at potential ABC here, or a potential impulse wave at the same time. And a few things that, zooming out on a higher scale, a little bit more of a macro scale here, that I think there's a couple opportunities we could be potentially looking at. Because again, my bias is that overall this whole thing right here is, in my opinion, is more of a fourth wave correction right now for Bitcoin. The Riot, I'll jump over to Riot as well and kind of show you my thoughts on that, because it's been following a little bit more accurate Elliott wave analysis, in my opinion. So I'll jump over, but normally what we'll see on a fourth wave correction, we will often see triangles in a fourth wave correction versus just a generic single ABC. So I wanted to kind of cover that real quick, but before I do so, I'll start off with going through the chat just to catch up, and then from the video from yesterday, how it played out, and then kind of go from there. So let's see, William from Scotland, love it. Hello from Denver. Oh, I used to live in Denver. I love Denver. New member to the New Wave Discord. Love it, Jeremy. Welcome aboard. I appreciate it. And comment deleted also. I love your username. So cool. All right, guys. So let's go. We'll dive in. So if you guys saw my video yesterday, I mean, it literally played out exactly to what I was expecting it to. We were consolidating right here, and really just at that kind of the 58.8 range. And if you guys watched my video, I don't know if you did or not, but I said by looking at the RSI, you can see that we were kind of trending sideways, and RSI was still going down versus price action was not. So it's creating a little bit of bullish divergence there. And the big little swing fail right here was exactly what I talked about at the end of my video yesterday. So hopefully you guys saw it. And the reason why I was, leaning a little bit more towards that is just because indecision right now in the market. This move right here was showing indecision. We still have a little bit of indecision, don't get me wrong. But I mean, talked about this consolidation with a little pump up and then a quick rejection back down to the downside. And I mean, it got bought right back up. So It's really pushing to break 60K, and you know, if we can get over 60K, I mean, we tested it right here, testing it again right here. We did break it, had it as support for a little bit right here, but then had our quick rejection down. So I mean, if we've just been hammering 60K, so in my opinion, if we can break 60K, turn it into support, you know, it'll be back off to the races. My only concern with that, and it would be if we start to go into a little bit more of a triangular formation here, and which is still very possible for a fourth wave, just in regards to, instead of having this as an A, B, and a C, have this as an A, B, C, D, E, just made up of overall a bunch of three-wave moves. And if that's the case, you know, we break 60K, come up and really test that 67, 68 range of that trend line, come back down, retest 60 again, and then just take off and go from there. So I mean, it would make sense to have this as a move, in regards to, you know, hammer 60K, potentially come back down and retest this weekly resistance point we had at 55, to form a three-wave move up, and then come back down and retest the 60, and then start flying. So that is an option that I am looking for a little bit more on the macro side of things. But again, you know, we can see that we have just been kind of just playing with these support and resistance zones quite a bit, and it's actually been playing out pretty well. Can this just be a big one too? Ask Crypto Knight. In regards to this move right here, I would see this as potentially a double zigzag, yeah, for a three-wave move. So basically, I'm seeing this as could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here for the A wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That would complete this as a 5-wave move. This right here would be the B, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 right here. So this can potentially be a B wave, but we also want to be potentially on the bullish side of things as well, just in case. You know, we always want to be ready for a bull and a bear scenario, to where this would be a third wave, because we would have 5 waves inside of a third, right? So this be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This would be potentially a wave 2 right here, to where we can potentially come back down and retest the 55.5 range, and then take off from there. Now we do have, we're kind of, I guess, somewhat in a little bit of a channel right here, so that's something that we can also look at and play with. Let's see, what do I want? So if we look at the fib channel here, hopefully like so. Let's move that guy. So we are a little bit in this channel, so, you know, a break outside of the channel one way or another, you know, we could be having a little bit of a play there. So this again is coming across right here as more of a corrective move. In regards to this move to the downside, I don't really see it. This can be a simple ABC right here. And again, we're on the hourly time frame right now, so it can be a pretty simple ABC. And then this would be the start potentially of our wave 3, where this would be our wave 1, this is our 2, and then start taking off and going from there. So really just kind of letting a little bit of structure form right now at the moment. If you see this move right here, if it is overall a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up here to 59.5, we'll call it. Then that little dump down, you know, basically held the 2 through 6. Normally with the wave 1, we like to see it come back down and retest, you know, the 382, which would put it, you know, just above this weekly resistance. Even the 618, below that, you know, technically a wave 2 can go all the way back down to the start of wave 1, but with this, you know, for a little bit more of a bullish sentiment, you know, we want to hold the we want to hold the 618 if it is a little bit more of a bullish sentiment. But again, if we're also having on the table where this is potentially going to be an ABCDE triangle, and this would be a wave 1, I'm sorry, an A wave right here, we would have this as our A, we would have a little bit more of a drawn out B, and then up again for a C. And do something like that, where basically we'd have a little bit more of a complex structure here for a B wave, kind of just dance around, let the RSI come down and really reset entirely for this B wave, and then just pump up again for the C, and then come up and get that trend line resistance. So right now I don't see a clean, clear, exact setup to jump into. I'm on the sidelines honestly right now. I want to let this kind of indecision start to play out a little bit and start to get a little bit more of a structure behind it. It's also something we could be looking at too, where this is our A wave or our B wave, and then we would have another C wave come down, to have again a little bit more time. There just hasn't been enough time to really kind of go through. If you look at this potential B wave right here, you can see just how much indecision was going around bouncing before we actually made a decision and took off. So I think there needs to be a little bit more time to come out. I mean, I might jump in a little bit and do a little bit of scalps here and there if I see something, but right now just kind of letting everything play out for the most part, get a little bit more of a structure, just because clearly there's some indecision where the bulls are trying to take it past 60, bears are really trying to defend the 60. So we could see some pretty decent swings here and there. So just something we all want to go through and pay attention. Comment deleted. Oh yeah, Oregon here. Yep, you're my neighbor. I'm in Seattle, so you are my neighbor to the south. So represent the West Coast. Brian, welcome. Appreciate you turning in. So cool. All right, guys. So that's where I'm looking right now on a Bitcoin standpoint. I'll go through and I want to take a quick look at SUSHI. So if you guys saw my video from SUSHI yesterday, we were right here making the decision to have continuation to the downside or break up. Again, I was leaning more towards of a break to the downside, and so far it's played out. We got our break to the downside. In my opinion, I think we need to have some further continuation to the downside. I'd say this is, we still haven't broken the 1.618. So in my opinion, we at least need to go to the 12.4. But this was the break. But I mean, from a percentage standpoint, if you're looking at SUSHI, it's a pretty decent drop from a percentage standpoint. If you're able to get in, that's still a 10% move to the downside. So percentage-wise, that's still super solid. And it's been so far played out perfectly. So I'm leaning more towards continuation to roughly the 1250 mark. We can get all the way down towards the 1175, the 11.4. We'll kind of go from there. So again, leaning for more continuation to the downside. Let's see. I'm gonna take a quick look at Riot just because that's what I was talking about before in regards to a potential wave 4. And I'm gonna zoom out a little bit more here. Let's go to the 16-hour. Cool. All right, so this is what I was looking at for Riot. So Riot has a cleaner count than Bitcoin does for this overall move up. So I'm seeing this overall right here. This is our wave 1, 2, and then we have our 5 moves completed within our third wave, and it tagged the 1.618 to the T. Now, normally we like to see our wave 4s come back down and tag the 0.236, but we could have, let's see, if we're super bullish, we may not get there, and that's totally okay. But to come back down, tag the 0.236 at roughly $25, somewhere within there would be completely okay and completely justified from an Elliott wave perspective. But from a overall count, still looks to be in a wave 4. If you look how long wave 2 took, wave 4, in my opinion, still needs more time. We just haven't gotten as much time needed before blast off, which is kind of leaning more towards that indecision, in my opinion. And I just want to try this real quick and see. Let's see. So if we put it roughly right at finish the wave 2, you know, that would put mid-April-ish, roughly, potentially, to finish out the wave 4 for a same time frame. And then we can go into our wave 5 after that. So that is also a potential tool to use and look at as well. So, but just again, at wave 2, let's get an actual count here on wave 2. So wave 2 took almost 62 days on wave 2. Wave 4, we're at 42 days. So if we did 62 days, again, the same length of time. Again, that's towards the end of April, so mid-April. So I think it still needs more time to play out. You know, I don't think we're ready to take off yet. I always, you know, it can be wrong, but that's just my bias. Just in regards to leaning more towards some potential continuation to the downside. Again, just to have these indicators reset. If we look at a daily perspective as well as some of the indicators, normally, like, we'll see this reset almost entirely. You know, we came down and tagged the 42 on the RSI. Normally like to see it test the bottom of the bearish control zone down at 30. So I don't think we're quite there yet. You know, I think we'll kind of potentially do an expanding diagonal for I guess a C wave potentially for an A, B, and a C right here. So it's, again, something to pay attention to, something to watch, just because RSI has, or Riot has such a cleaner count. Let's see, Brian, would you take a quick look at ADA? Let's do it. Oh man, I don't want to do it on Kraken. Kraken with those wicks, man, they kill me. Let's do Bitfinex. There we go. All right. So daily count on ADA. Man, look at that run. I got another one I'm going to be taking a look at as well. I won't get to it today, but I have another coin I'm going to be starting to watch very closely, because that's something I'm going to be diving into quite a bit. So, all right, ADA. Let's see, so potentially look at it starting here. Overall. So look at that. Could be our wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because that can't be the one. What's interesting with this one is, if this is our wave 1, 2, let's be a third. Almost looks to be inside the fourth wave as well. I'm trying to dive into this right here, because here you can see a pretty clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if that's the case, then this would be our wave 1. This would be our 2. This would be our 3, 4. And what I don't necessarily like is this right here, unless it's like an expanding or an ending diagonal. So I'd have to look at it on the top, on the smaller time frame, to see if this can potentially be an expanding diagonal for basically our, right here be our 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So I'd have to go a little bit like so. Let's just go ahead and measure it real quick. Oh, come on. Slow that one up. Yeah, I hit the 3.618 overextended. Yeah, I mean, right here, I mean, this looks to be a fourth wave, in my opinion. So again, it's kind of getting that triangular formation. It still looks to be fourth wave. I see continuation north after this, in all honesty. I'm not seeing this as a 5-wave move down. You can see a pretty clear ABC starting off with a 3-wave. You know, we could be looking at this as the A. Let's zoom into that real quick. All right, so potentially looking at this guy here as our A. This would be the B, and then the C. Potentially, if it turns into a triangle, then we're going to go with A, B, C, D, E, and get continuation. But it looks pretty. I mean, it looks healthy. It looks like consolidation, in my opinion. So I would look for continuation north on ADA here. So let's see. I'm not going to be able to get a full-on request here. Let's see. Can I take a look at audio from Victoria? Let's see if I can pull that up. Belgium. Take a look at ETH, please. Really appreciate it from Arno. And then comment deleted dot. I think I have dot on here, so I'm going to go with dot real quick and get this out of the daily. So dot has just been a pain in my ass, to be honest with you, because of this whole mess right here. So let's get out of the daily. But I mean, yeah, this whole thing has just been super, super corrective. But from overall, I think what this turned into, I mean, it's gonna look, I think, a little bit more complex, but that's, you know, probably a WXY in all honesty. Basically 3 waves up, and this would have to be the B wave, basically. So that'll be our A. This would be our B. So if you took that off, and then have that C up, and then the C down. So basically this would be our A. This would be B and a C. It would technically be a WXY. It all looks like 3 waves for a larger ABC right here in the middle. But the whole thing looks corrective. From a larger scale out, what I was looking at for DOT during this run played out, I mean, honestly perfect. It played out to a T, and getting up towards to that $40 mark from what I was looking at, 43 bucks. And scrolling out, let's see. Now the question is, you know, where are we at? But I mean, this has been a lot of consolidation on DOT. So let me get over here to the 4-hour. I kind of think it depends in regards to how this overall kicked off right here. Because we had the C wave option right here, which obviously died, right, with continuation up. So I think we'd be looking at it as a 1, 2, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And I would label it as, it's kind of funny how all of these are super, super close in regards to being potentially a 4th wave. So let's see, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 right here, larger 4th, which is what we've been in. And then going up again for a 5th. So I'd have to dive into a little bit more specific, but again, this all looks like consolidation to me for DOT here. And then this move right here is what is going to be a little bit trickier, I think. Brian, yeah, I do think DOT is still looking at a 4th wave move. It's just, there's been a lot of correction and a lot of consolidation. And it kind of just comes down to a matter of, you know, could this potentially be the start of something right here? And it looks a little bit too corrective, in my opinion. So I think it potentially a bit more of a WXY right here. I'm just seeing a bunch of 3 waves in all honesty. So basically W, X, and a Y. Because that's 3 waves. There's no way to make a 5-wave move out of that. This is our main break point right here. So again, I'm seeing it more as a 3-wave corrected structure. So I think that it might turn into more continuation of consolidation. But I think overall, I think it looks fairly healthy for a 4th wave. Victoria, let me see if I can do audio for you, and then might have time to do a quick look at ETH. All right, audio. That is ridiculous. All right, so go to 6. All right, let's see. So basically, we're at 311 at the moment. And again, this is on Tether. So I would see this is starting roughly right here. It's BR1. Some consolidation. Potentially that would be our 1. For the start of the 3rd wave, or an expanding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tether I'm seeing slightly different. And again, this is really my first look at Tether, so I'll have to dive into it a little bit further. But I'm seeing this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think there's still another leg up on Tether. It looks to be in the 4th leg of the 5th. So that's overall, again, just kind of a quick look, especially with, you can see on the RSI how much RSI has reset, and we're now at the bottom of the volume band here on the 6 hour. So it does look like it does want another kick up. That would be my bias on Tether here, or on audio for USDT. Yeah, my bias would be for another leg up there. Cool. And then last, let's take a quick look at ETH. Let's scroll out. All right, so ETH, what I was looking at yesterday was the potential. We were sitting at the 1, but with legs to potentially go to the. So that's what I was looking at yesterday. And honestly, again, this looks to be a 3-wave move, and basically turn this into a WXY here. So that would be our W, this would be our X, and then this would be our Y. For basically our A, this would be the B, and then the C. And I think there's still room to potentially get up to the 1.618, basically 1990, but it's still coming across as a potential 3-wave, in my opinion. So if we get past the 1.618, then you have to be looking at something potentially different. The only other way I would really be looking at this guy is this potentially could be our 1, 2, and then this would be the start of our 3rd. But with our 3rd waves are normally the most impulsive, so you can kind of see roughly right here. This would be the 3rd wave that I'd be looking at, and normally our 3rd waves just have crazy bullishness to it, right? So this would be our 1, this would be our 2. And our 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 right here within the 3rd. So 3rds are normally our most bullish, normally our most drastic, what we can see on the visual. So if this was our wave 1 of our 3rd wave, this is our 2, then I would expect it a little bit more bullishness to the upside on this. So that's why I'm hesitant, I guess, overall. And we also create a little bit of bearish divergence here on the 1 hour, where we have a lower high on the RSI and a higher high on price point. So it's something to be aware of. It does come across as a little bit more of, I guess, a little bit more corrective, in my opinion. Obviously, scrolling out this, I mean, potentially can count this as five wave, but again, normally your wave one isn't your biggest wave. So that is what kind of has me against it. But it's something on the table. So the 1.618 at 1990 is something we want to pay attention to, something we want to look at. If we do break that, then potentially we'd be looking at something else. But that is my bias, and it's just coming across a little bit more corrective, in my opinion, overall for ETH. So I think this can also be kind of the finishing up for an A. This would be the B, and this would be the C, to overall make this structure here, finish this off a little bit bigger as an A, and then have our 3 waves right here, and then a C, and then have our continuation to the north side after that. So again, hesitant, but it there's definitely some pretty heavy bullishness in the market at the moment, but I'm leaning towards a little bit more of a correction for another leg to the downside, because we haven't really matched this on ETH. We had this move here, but it hasn't really matched this. So I think we still need to have another I guess 1-to-1 match on this guy before we have our continuation to new highs on ETH and Bitcoin here. So cool. All right, guys, that sums it up. That is roughly my half hour, so I think I actually got to all of you guys. Yep, I did, just looking at the chat. So cool. Hope you guys got some value out of this. Again, if you guys have questions, that's why I like to do these live streams, is interact and do it a little bit more specifically for you guys. But I'll catch you guys in the Discord, ask questions, interact, share your charts, your feedback, just because overall that's how any of us are going to get better, is just bouncing around some ideas with each other. So again, catch you guys in the Discord. Have a wonderful day, wonderful morning, I guess wonderful night, wherever you're at in the world. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next live. See you later.